Hi everybody, and a very warm welcome to Susannah's Kitchen, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And thank you for choosing to click on this video. So we make everything in the Ninja Foodi here, and Christmas is no exception. Of course, I don't expect you to be making a whole Christmas dinner for like 10 people using just one Ninja Foodi, but these recipes aren't just for Christmas Day. These recipes are for the full festive season. So I've got you covered with everything from party nibbles, starters, main courses, desserts, drinks. I've got the full works going on this December, so I really hope you enjoy these videos. Don't forget to give me a like below and subscribe to my channel as well. So today's recipe is an exclusive cookbook recipe. I've got a brand new Christmas cookbook that I have just released over on my website, which is www.susannahskitchen.uk. So go over there and grab yourself a copy. Now you don't need to worry about saving this video for today's recipe because there'll be a QR code in the cookbook which will link back if you do want to watch the recipe video again. And all my recipes are super achievable and of course really delicious. So I hope you enjoyed today's Ninja Foodi recipe. Let's go and start cooking. In my Ninja pot, I have got some butter melting and we're going to start making our salmon on croûte. I'm going to also put in a little bit of spray oil, and this is olive oil that I've got in here. And to that, I want to add my onion. And that is the first thing I'm going to start cooking. We just now want to soften these onions down. And I'm going to add into those some garlic. You can use lazy garlic or a fresh garlic. There you go. Let's get that in. This is one of my exclusive Christmas recipes, and this forms part of my brand new Christmas cookbook. So grab yourself a copy of that to get all of the details of all the ingredients and the quantities you're going to need so you can recreate these at home. This salmon on croûte I absolutely love. You've got people coming over, but even between Christmas, you know, it's a really good one. It looks really impressive, but it's not too hard. It's really achievable, and this actually is really nice for New Year's as well. If you've got fresh oregano, then great. If not, you can use some dried oregano like I am. Onions are softening down nicely. We're starting to get a little bit of colour on those as well, which is perfect to move on to the next stage. I'm using spinach in this dish, and I've opted for some frozen spinach. It looks like absolutely loads of it, but remember this does wilt down to more or less nothing. So now we're going to need to cook this for quite a while because one, we've got to defrost that to start with, and then we want to remove the moisture. So the way we do that is we just cook it for quite a long time until that liquid has fully evaporated. Need to stir it regularly, and then we're going to remove this, and then we can just basically give it a good season and allow it to cool. Now the spinach is cooked, the water has evaporated and it's nice and intense in flavour, and of course we've got that onion and garlic running through that. So I'm going to remove the whole pot, and then we want to season this. So salt, and then be fairly generous with the black pepper. Oh yes, that'll make it delicious. Give it a little taste, make sure it's seasoned really well so that you're going to enjoy it. Okay, and now we can set this aside and let this cool. So I'm going to remove this from the pot because it's going to cool, obviously going to cool a lot quicker because the pot's hot. And then we can reuse the pot to make our sauce now. Moving on to our sauce, you want your pot on sear and saute again. I've given mine a very quick rinse out. And we want spray olive oil and then some butter again. Here is my leek, and that has been really finely sliced. And I've also got here sun-dried tomatoes. Oh yes, get that lovely oil in there as well. Now we just want to soften these down. Now you're going to want this sear and saute on a slightly lower heat with this. So I would probably say level 3 is going to be good, because we want to make sure that these become sweet and really tender. So stir them regularly. It's probably going to take 10-15 minutes, I would say. I now add my white wine, and we just want to let that bubble away in the bottom there. So I think we can probably just turn up the syrup and saute slightly now. Basically, we just want to cook this wine away. The next ingredient is some plain flour. I just want to scatter that over the top there. Now we can start adding in a little bit at a time of our milk. Give that a stir. Add a little bit more, keep stirring. And now for the last bit of milk. Brilliant. And look at this sauce that we have created with the leeks and the sun-dried tomatoes. Now I'm going to turn the sear and saute right down at this point. Now to make this into a sauce, we're going to want to blitz this. So you can use some sort of blender or a hand blender that you would use for soup, and that's going to give us a beautiful sauce. Before I blend it up though, I'm going to add in my red Leicester cheese, which is grated. We can season this. For a little bit of a kick, some cayenne pepper. It's really up to you how much you add. I mean, if you wanted to, you could leave it just like this, but I'm going to be blending mine. So I'm going to put mine into my jug that my milk was in, and then I'm going to use a soup blender just to blend it up quickly. So your sauce will be quite thick, and it will look like this when it's been all blitzed up. To assemble the salmon en croûte, you want your piece of puff pastry, which is just shop bought, rolled out. You want to make sure with the size of your salmon that you've got a good amount of border around the outside, almost like sort of 10 centimetres. I've pushed that down in a sieve to get rid of any excess moisture. There's quite a lot of green water that came out. I'm just going to put that all over the bottom here where the salmon is going to go. So it's got like a bed of spinach to sit on with that onion and garlic running through it. It's been really well seasoned as well. So I've lifted the salmon on top here and just laid it on that bed of spinach. Now with your salmon, you want the skin off, and obviously you want it pin boned as well, because we don't want in our salmon en croûte any skin or bones in there. It's just not going to be very nice. And what you want to do is roll over this pastry to create a really nice edge. And you want to get the other side, and we just want to sort of tuck this in as we go. So you may just need to work at it just for a minute. Once it starts holding and you've got it just right, it should then stay together a bit better. There you go. Look, you can see now how we've got a decent edge to it. And we need that edge because we're going to be pouring over the sauce that we made in a moment. Now you're going to want to score the salmon over the top in a sort of crisscross fashion like this. Just going across. There you go. Lovely. Now the salmon only just fits in the pot. So what I've done is I've got the top section of the double rack just to lift it up slightly from the bottom of the pot. I've kept it on the parchment like this, obviously because we now need to be able to take it out, and obviously we don't want it sticking. It's a little bit tricky, but it does fit. So it is doable, which is the main thing. Now I'm going to use the sauce that we made, and we're going to cover the salmon with this. So I'm just going to do this quite carefully, a little bit at a time. It is quite thick, which is how you want it, because if not, this would just run everywhere and be an absolute mess. So we've got those higher bits of pastry, which is what we need just to help encase this. oh, this smells really nice, really, really nice. And that's going to keep that salmon beautifully moist under there. It's just really encasing it really nicely. Great. Now I can get that onto bake. Here it is, my beautiful salmon en croûte. You can see those layers. You've got that beautiful pastry, which is lovely and crisp. You've then got the layer of the spinach with the onions and the garlic, and then that beautiful flaky salmon and the cheesy sauce. It's gone really golden brown on top. Absolutely stunning. I really hope you give this a go. Don't forget to grab a copy of the Christmas cookbook so that you get the full list of ingredients and the quantities. Have a Merry Christmas and enjoy.